How you doing, guys? Welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 10th of June 2022. Before we get into the analysis today, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Smash that like button. Now let's get into some news articles that I've been going through this morning. The first one being the UFC's official Layer 1 blockchain partner, VeChain. This is a very interesting article and obviously great for us as advocates of cryptocurrency, because what this means now is the next time somebody has a problem with cryptocurrency, we can bring them into the octagon and pummel them to... No, I'm just kidding. But this adds legitimacy to cryptocurrency. These big brands, UFC, Fidelity, and so on, they bring legitimacy to cryptocurrency, and it makes our lives so much easier because, again, the next time I have a conversation, or at least a negative sided conversation with somebody about cryptocurrency, it's going to be so much easier for me, to bring the UFC into this and say, look, I'm sure you know the UFC. Well, they are, they have a blockchain partner. They use blockchain technology. Fidelity, for example, are going to be introducing the ability to use up to 20% of their 401 or people's 401ks, in digital assets and so on, which will be coming sometime later this year. But the more these big brands, the more these, huge companies start to implement blockchain technology and have partnerships with, these blockchain firms and so on, the better it is for cryptocurrency as a whole, right? So definitely something to keep an eye on, and a very, very welcomed article this morning. Now, here's an interesting one. Circles Dispart calls CBDCs a preposterous idea in a digital dollar debate. Now, this is interesting because there's two schools of thought when it comes to central bank digital currencies. Okay, there are some that are for it and some that are against it. The ones that are for it are generally governments, and the ones that are against it are generally us, right, in the cryptocurrency space. But I want to kind of emphasize something, that if you have this idea, okay, that central bank digital currencies may not come in, that it's just something that's not going to happen, you want to really just put that to one side, put it to the back of your mind, and bury it really, really deep down there so it never comes up again, because central bank digital currencies are coming whether we like it or not. Every country around the world and every government is actually in the process of developing or has already developed their central bank digital currency. I'm going to bring your attention to another article in a moment that's going to solidify this idea. But just be aware, central bank digital currencies are coming. There is this argument to be made that cash will disappear, that cash is no longer going to be something that we use. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think what's going to happen when it comes to CBDCs and cash, they're going to make cash very difficult to use. So as a quick example, let's say you want to go and buy some bread and it costs £1. If you use a central bank digital currency of that, of your country that you're in, let's say here in the UK, they're going to make that very easy for us to do. You can scan your phone, your watch, you can look at something, you can, whatever. There's going to be so many different options for us to be able to use central bank digital currencies, or stable coins or cryptocurrency, because it's digital, it's easy, it's, something that they want us to do, right? But when it comes to cash, they're going to say, well, wait a second, it's no longer £1, it's actually £1.50 for your bread. And any argument is going to be pointless, because what they'll say is something like, it's going to cost us more to handle cash. It's going to cost us more to put cash in the bank. The bank is charging us, to get rid of cash and to do whatever they're doing with their cash. So we have to pass on, that cost to you. And what they'll do is, instead of removing cash from circulating supply or getting rid of cash altogether, they will make us do it by making it so difficult to use. We will just get fed up and just, use central bank digital currencies. And then ultimately, they haven't done it themselves. We've done it to ourselves. Okay, so just something to think about. So let's go over to this article here. Jamaica pioneers CBDC as legal. Jamaica pioneers CBDC as legal tender. All right, and this solidifies what I was just saying about CBDCs. The Bank of Jamaica, the country's central bank, has officially recognized its JAM-DEX central bank digital currency as legal tender. The first country to do so, alongside first world countries across the globe who are also developing CBDC implementations for their own economies. Central bank digital currencies are coming. There's nothing we can do about it. Now what that looks like in the years to come, and how that's implemented, because obviously central bank digital currencies are no different to smart contracts. They can be programmed to do certain things. I kind of just leave that thought with you. But ultimately, what that looks like as the years go by, remains to be seen. But I think if we use our imaginations, we can kind of get a feel for what central bank digital currencies are going to mean for us, as consumers, for us as people who are out there, making a wage, and so on. The other article that I want to bring your attention to is SEC reportedly looking into UST federal violations of investor protection regulations. Now, I don't want to go into this article per se, but I just want to bring your attention to the SEC itself, who is making an effort to really push their investigations into cryptocurrency. There's a difference between regulation, and there's a difference between regulation and actually investigation, right? Regulation is something that's coming, we know. The Loomis bill, that's going to be coming soon, and so on. But the SEC obviously investigates some things within the cryptocurrency environment already. And I think this is going to slowly start to increase the more scams are more prevalent. And obviously things like what happened to Luna and UST bring to light the SEC's involvement in cryptocurrency as a whole. Terror is huge, obviously, and what happened was absolutely biblical in proportions. So because that's so big, it's very difficult for the SEC not to step in and actually look into it or do something with it. But obviously, when you have influencers that are scamming their followers, for millions and millions and millions, this doesn't matter, to the SEC because it's small fish, right? But when you have something like UST, Terra, something big, obviously you have huge implications in terms of, country to country. They want to step in, they want to get involved, they want to flex their muscles. So again, just be aware of this. The SEC is going to start to be a little bit more in our faces, I think, as the regulation comes in and as more investigations start to happen, when the violations of these regulations become prevalent in cryptocurrency. Because let's be frank, I think cryptocurrency is housed to probably some of the smartest scammers in the world and some of the smartest project founders in the world as well. So there's going to be a lot of innovation, but there's also going to be a lot of craziness happening in this space as well. So let's jump over to the charts. Not a great deal has changed. Pretty much the same in the sense of the two levels that I'm looking for, but obviously we want to stay on top of price just to make sure that we are abreast of anything that happens in that moment. I will bring your attention to this and I rarely do this, guys, but I will bring your attention to this narrowing. It's not about the lines, it's not about the triangle or anything like that. It doesn't signify anything in terms of pattern recognition or what could potentially be unfolding. It's just to bring your attention to the fact that we are starting to narrow within this range. And you can see that the first consolidation, this has been going on for just under a month, but the first consolidation was quite narrow. Then it started to get a little bit messy, and now we're getting, this kind of tightening of price, which could signify a potential pop one way or another. It could be up, it could be down, but ultimately, unless we get that injection of volatility, there's not really much to do. There's not really much to say. But again, constantly keeping on top of price to make sure that when something does happen, we see it. Just jumping over to Binance. Again, Binance still showing a little bit of weakness regarding, its correlation with Bitcoin. Not a great deal happening with this. The only way that I'm engaging with Binance at all, is if it gets down to 200 to 215 below these lows. Other than that, it's just a question of waiting again for that huge injection of volatility to come into, the cryptocurrency market as a whole, really get Bitcoin moving, and then we can start to think about, engaging with the markets, again. Ethereum for me, again, showing a lot of weakness. I think we do end up going below these lows. I feel that we're probably going to end up somewhere around about 1500, on Ethereum at some point. Ethereum's got a lot of problems at the moment, and you have advocates that were heavily involved in Ethereum, really pushing for it, talking about the merge, really positive, this, that, and the other. And even they, very smart people, are starting to pull away now and say, do you know what? I'm kind of on the fence at the minute. They've got problems with the merge. They've got problems with their network. They've got problems with, some of the things that they're trying to implement. And obviously, they're not fixing the gas fees. Sharding's not going to fix the gas fees. The merge isn't going to fix the gas fees. Nothing is fixing these gas fees. So ultimately, who is going to want to engage on a network, right, where the gas fees are insane? That the only way to make money, is to have 32 Ethereum minimum. Stake that. Don't even know if you're going to be able to get that money out and so on, because there's a lot of huge money that is actually on the fence about putting, money into Ethereum as proof of stake, because they don't know if they can take their money out, afterwards. So These are all things that kind of add up to a bit of a mess and a bit of a nightmare. For miners, obviously, if you're still profitable with your mining, great. But outside of that, Ethereum for me is not something that I would personally be looking to hold or get into. There's definitely better, out there. Polkadot being one of them. I am going to do a separate video on Polkadot because layer one, they bring all of these, blockchains together in a seamless network. It's going to be very, very interesting and definitely one to keep an eye on. So with all of that said, I hope everyone's having an absolutely fantastic day or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to catching up with you sometime later today. All the best. Take care. Ciao for now.